पाठ संख्या 13 महिला की साहसिकता। महिला की साहसिकता। सबको सुनाई दे रहा है?
यस सर।
ओके। अब तक हमने देखे हैं 12 पाठ। आज हम और एक नया यहाँ पे जो पाठ है महिला की साहस गाथा, यानी एक महिला के बारे में यहाँ पे आज हम सविस्तार से देखेंगे। मैं ये पाठ बोलने से पहले आपसे ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि हम इस दुनिया में आने के बाद चाहे वो पुरुष हो महिला हो कोई क्यों ना, लेकिन जैसे पुरुष इस समाज में क्या है, आज हमारे इस समाज में या इस आज की परिस्थिति में हम देखते हैं समाज में पुरुष का एक स्थान एक अलग होता है और महिलाओं का एक स्थान अलग होता है। ये हमने ही बनाया है कि महिलाएं इस प्रकार से रहा करें और उनके काम ये हैं और उनके जो अलग अलग रीति रिवाज जो हम कहते हैं ये महिला के हैं, ये पुरुष के हैं और पुरुष के जो काम होते हैं वो अलग होते हैं और उनका रहना सहना उनका जो बोलना है वो अलग होता है। यानी पुरुष और महिलाओं में जो विंगडन किया है इस समाज ने किया है, इस समाज ने किया है। लेकिन आज के इस दुनिया में या आज के इस युग में हम देखेंगे तो महिलाएं भी पुरुष से कम नहीं हमें दिखती। पुरुष के कदमों से कदमें मिलाकर चलने वाली महिलाएं आज हमें देखने को मिलती हैं। अब देखिए हर एक रंग में महिलाएं हमें दिखने पड़ती हैं। कौन सा भी आप फील्ड ले लीजिए, कोई कैसा क्यों ना ले लीजिए, जो पुरुष करता है जो काम वो सारे के सारे काम आज के महिलाएं कर रही हैं। चाहे तुम डॉक्टर ही ले लो, तुम इंजीनियरिंग ले लो, वकालत ले लो, लॉयर जो बोलते हैं, हाँ, और जो शिक्षक ले लो, अलग अलग कृषि ले लो, जो हम कृषि करती हैं वहां पे भी महिलाएं कर रही हैं। यानी जहां जहां पुरुष काम कर रहे हैं वहां आज महिलाएं भी काम करने लगी हैं। ऐसे ही एक उदाहरण आज हम एक महिला के बारे में देखते हैं। उनका नाम, वो क्या क्या काम किया है और उनकी जो जीवन गति थी किस प्रकार से थी। इससे हमको क्या पता चलता है कि हमारे जीवन में भी एक साहस प्रवृत्ति वहां पे मिलती है देखने। साहस प्रवृत्ति, धैर्य, लगन, काम में हमारा जो प्रेरणा जो मिलती है, प्रेरणा इस पाठ से हमें सीख मिलती है और हमें भी हमारे जीवन में आगे बढ़ने का एक अच्छा अवसर हमें मिलता है। कई बार अब देखिए कई बार हम हार मानती हैं। ಸೋಲು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಷ್ಟದ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾವು ಸೋಲನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂಕಲನವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಆ ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಎದುರಿಸಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಬಹುದು ಎಂಬುದು ನಾವು ಈ ಪಾಠ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ತಿಳ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ಅಂತ। और महिलाएं आज पुरुष से भी कम नहीं। महिलाएं यानी जो मेहनत करता है इसका अच्छा फल उसे जरूर मिलता है। जो अच्छे से प्रयत्न करता है ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪ್ರತಿಫಲ ನಮಗೆ ದೊರಕುತ್ತದೆ, ದೊರಕಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸದಾ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಶೀಲರಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಶೀಲರಾಗಬೇಕು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಏನಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೆಲುವು ಅಡಗಿದೆ, ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಲ್ಲಿನೇ. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಸೋಲ್ತೀರಾ, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಭಯ ಬೇಡ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೋಲಾಯ್ತಾ ಮೂರನೇ ಸಾರಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ 4ನೇ ಸಾರಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಮುಂದೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೆಲುವು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸಿಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಕೇವಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸೋಲಾಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಸೋಲಿದಾಗ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಸೋಲಿದೆ, ಆ ಸೋಲುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು, ಆ ಕಾರಣ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹುಡುಕಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಸೋಲನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸುಧಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೆಲುವು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಉನ್ನತ ಶ್ರೇಣಿ ಏರ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ ಎಂಬುದು ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣ. इस महिलाएं आज आपको पता है कि किस प्रकार बारे में आज हम देख रहे हैं. अब देखिए, राजनीति हो महिलाएं आगे हैं, कोई कामकाज हो महिलाएं आगे हैं. हाँ, इस समाज में आप देखिए महिलाएं पुरुष से अपने कदमों को कदम हमारे साथ मिलाकर चलती हैं. यानी हर एक क्षेत्र में महिलाएं अपना जो वहां पे जो अपनी ताकत है सारी की सारी ताकत वहां पे लगा रही है और उसका नतीजा अच्छे से भी आ रहा है. अच्छा आ रहा है नतीजा उसका, उसका जो फल होता है अच्छा देखने को मिल रहा है. यानी हमें ये पता चलता है कि केवल इस समाज में पुरुष ही नहीं बल्कि महिलाएं और पुरुष दोनों एक गाड़ी की जो एक रथ के जो पैर हैं, जो पाए हम कहते हैं, वो पाए एक महिलाएं हो तो एक पुरुष भी है. यानी दोनों साथ मिलकर जब हम चलते हैं तो हमारा जीवन क्या होता है, एक अच्छा सुखमय जीवन हमारा हो सकता है. ऐसे ही इस महिला के पाठ सीखने के बाद या देखने के बाद आपको पता चलता है कि आप भी इस प्रकार से जो विजेंद्र पाल जो उसका नाम है, यानी विजेंद्र पाल जो काम ने किया है, अपनी जो उन्नति आगे बढ़ते बढ़ते आगे जितना सारी दुनिया में अपना नाम रोशन किया है, इस नाम के बारे में हम आज देखेंगे. ये एक संकलन है. यहाँ पे देखिए, पहला हम इस पाठ का हम आशय देखिए. क्या है आशय? इस लेख द्वारा छात्र जानकारी प्राप्त कर सकते हैं कि महिलाएं भी साहस प्रदर्शन में पुरुषों से कम नहीं हैं. मैंने मैं आपसे ही पहले कहा था, मैंने क्या कहा था, आज महिलाएं पुरुष से कम भी नहीं, पुरुष से ज्यादा नहीं, बराबरी से चलने वाली एक वहां पे महिलाएं भी चल रही हैं. आपको मैं बताया था, ये वहां पे नाम आपको सुनने आता है विजेंद्र पाल. विजेंद्र पाल इस विचार का एक निदर्शन है. यानी हम जो आज बात कर रहे हैं इस बात का निदर्शन कहाँ क्या है, विजेंद्र पाल. आप नाम सुने होंगे, इन महिलाओं का नाम आप सुने होंगे, विजेंद्र पाल. यानी आज हम यहाँ पे ये विचार करेंगे कि आज के महिलाएं जो इस युग के महिलाएं किस प्रकार से आगे बढ़ रही हैं. अब देखिए, बहुत प्रसिद्ध नाम है, कहाँ पे, पुलिस इलाके में. क्या नाम है? किरण बेदी. अब देखिए फर्स्ट लेडी हमारे भारत देश में आईपीएस पास जो हुए हैं, आईपीएस जो उन्होंने किया है, उनका नाम है किरण बेदी। एक महिला है, एक महिला थी। पूरे पुलिस इलाके में सर्वश्रेष्ठ जो माना जाता है आईपीएस, वहां पे एक महिला जिसका नाम है किरण बेदी। देखिए जो पुरुष काम करती हैं वही काम उसे करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि सेम काम होता है, सेम ड्यूटी वहां पे होती है। उसी प्रकार से इंदिरा गांधी वहां पे प्रधानमंत्री रह गई, मुख्यमंत्री अलग अलग रह चुके हैं, महिलाएं अलग अलग मंत्री रह चुके हैं, अलग अलग बिजनेस, अलग बड़े बड़े बिजनेस कंपनियों के मालिक रह चुके हैं। अब देखिए सुधा मूर्ति आप नाम सुने हैं, एक अच्छे महिलाएं, यानी महिला, आज के महिलाएं भी हर एक क्षेत्र में आपको दिखने को मिलते हैं, हर एक क्षेत्र। यही एक बात यहाँ पे कहते हैं कि विजेंद्री पाल इस विचार का एक निदर्शन है। ऐसी महिलाओं से प्रेरणा पाकर छात्र साथी भाव अपनाते हैं। आपको क्या करना है? आपने साहस प्रवृत्ति को लाना है, अपने आप में साहस भरना है, साहस भरिए। आपको उड़ान भरने के लिए पहले साहस करना आवश्यक है। उड़ान भरने के लिए साहस भरना आवश्यक है, आपको साहस भरना ही भरना है। अब देखिए हम इस पाठ को हम आगे क्या करेंगे, सविस्तार से देखेंगे। पहली महिला एवरेस्ट विजेता विजेंद्री पाल को एवरेस्ट की चोटी पर चढ़ने वाली पहली भारतीय महिला होने का गौरव प्राप्त हुआ है। भारत देश में, इस भारतवर्ष में जो माउंट एवरेस्ट को चढ़ने वाली सर्वप्रथम महिला का नाम विजेंद्री पाल, इसलिए उसका जो नाम से पहले आता है क्या है, पहली महिला एवरेस्ट विजेता। पहली महिला, इस देश की पहली महिला थी जिसका नाम, सारी दुनिया का नहीं बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, सारी दुनिया का देखेंगे तो नाम अलग आता है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ हम आज बात कर रहे हैं हमारे भारत देश की, हमारे भारत देश महिलाएं जिसका नाम है माउंट एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने वाली नाम विजेंद्री पाल। चढ़ने वाली पहली भारतीय महिला होने का गौरव इन्होंने प्राप्त कर लिया है। यानी हमारे इस भारत में कोई महिला सर्वप्रथम माउंट की चोटी पे जाकर रुकने वाली थी तो विजेंद्री पाल। विजेंद्री का जन्म एक साधारण भारतीय परिवार में हुआ। विजेंद्री का जन्म कहाँ हुआ था है, एक साधारण भारतीय परिवार में जन्म होता है। यानी हम और आप देते हैं, इनके जैसे साधारण परिवार जो होता है, ये परिवार में उनका क्या होता है, जन्म होता है। पिता किशन पाल सिंह और मां हंसा देवी, आपको अंडरलाइन कर लेना है, इन दोनों को नाम आपको याद रखना है। पिता का नाम क्या है, किशन पाल सिंह, और माता का नाम हंसा देवी, हंसा देवी नेगी। हंसा देवी नेगी की 5 संतानों में यह तीसरी संतान है। हंसा देवी नेगी और किशन पाल जी हैं, इनके जो 5 जो संतानें हैं, इन 5 संतानों में ये तीसरी संतान है। यानी ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರಿ ಪಾಲ್ ಅವರು ಮೂರನೇವರು ಅಂತ, 5 ಟೋಟಲಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ 5 ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಆ 5 ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು विजेंद्री पाल ಮೂರನೇದವರು। विजेंद्री के बड़े भाई को पहाड़ों पर जाना अच्छा लगता था। देखिए विजेंद्र पाल के जो बड़े भाई थे, इन बड़े भाई को आना बहुत ही अच्छा लगता था। भाई को देखकर उन्होंने निश्चय कर लिया कि वे भी कहीं वही करेंगी जो उनका भाई करते हैं। देखिए, घर परिवार में बच्चे ये देख कर सीखते हैं जो बड़े करते हैं, इसलिए हमें बहुत जागरूकता से रहना चाहिए बच्चों के सामने। सिर्फ वहां पे ये बात नहीं है कि भाई को देखकर इन्होंने भी सीखा, नहीं, ये बाद में हमें और एक बात पता चलती है। कौन सी बात? कि बच्चों के सामने हमें बहुत जागरूकता से रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि बच्चे तो बच्चे होते हैं। बच्चे क्या करते हैं? हमको यानी बड़ों को अनुकरण करते हैं। जैसे तुम बोलोगे वैसा बोलना चाहते हैं, जैसे तुम चलोगे वैसा वो भी चलना चाहते हैं, जैसे तुम कपड़े पहनोगे वो भी वैसा पहनना चाहते हैं, जैसे तुम खाओगे वो भी वैसा खाना चाहते हैं, जैसे तुम जो भी काम करते हो तुमको देख देख कर बच्चे सीखते हैं। इसलिए बच्चों के सामने जो भी बड़े लोग होते हैं, जो समझदार जो लोग होते हैं, उनको अच्छा समझदार होके वहां पे बच्चों के सामने व्यवहार करना पड़ता है, काम करना पड़ता है। यहाँ पे देखिए, बड़ा विजेंद्र का बड़ा भाई क्या कर रहा है? पहाड़ों पर चढ़ना उसका एक अच्छी एक हैबिट सीखी है। लेकिन उसी तरह विजेंद्र पाल भी सोचती है कि मैं भी मेरे भाई की तरह मैं क्या करूं? इन पहाड़ों पर चढ़ा करूं, इन पहाड़ों पे घुमा करूं, इन पहाड़ों को मैं अपने आप में सिमट ले लूं। लेकिन भाई को देखकर उन्होंने निश्चय कर लिया कि वे भी वही करेंगी जो उनका भाई करता है। भाई क्या करता था? पहाड़ों पर चढ़ता था। वे किसी से पीछे नहीं रहेगी। देखिए, वो सोचती हैं, विजेंद्र पाल जी सोचती हैं कि मैं भी किसी से पीछे नहीं रहूंगी, मैं भी किसी से पीछे नहीं रहूंगी। लेकिन हम और आप सोचते हैं, कोई आपसे कहता है कि फला व्यक्ति ये कर रहा है, आपका नाम लेकर बोलते हैं कि आपका दोस्त ये कर रहा है, आपके घर परिवार में ये कर देख रहे हैं, वो कर रहा है, तू क्यों नहीं करता? आप कहोगे हाँ, उसका काम वो करेगा, मेरा काम मैं करूंगा, चाहे वो कोई क्यों ना हो। लेकिन आपको यह निश्चय करना है कि मैं भी किसी से नहीं कम हूं, मुझसे कोई भी बढ़कर नहीं है, मैं भी सबके साथ जो सारे के सारे लोग करते हैं मैं भी कर सकता हूं, उनसे भी अच्छा कर सकता हूं, ऐसा सोचना है। कोई आपसे अच्छा कोई किताब पढ़ता है, आपको वहां पे मायूस नहीं होना है कि आपको नहीं आता। आप कोशिश करिए, कोशिश करिए, कोशिश करिए, आप उनसे भी बेहतरीन पढ़ने लगोगे। ऐसे अलग अलग चाहे काम हो, अलग कोई क्यों ना हो, आपको वहां पे हार नहीं मानना है, हार नहीं मानना है। यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे? विजेंद्र पाल सोचती है, मैं किसी से कम नहीं हूं, मैं पीछे नहीं रह सकती, इसलिए मैं भी क्या करूंगी? जो मेरा भाई कर रहा है मैं भी वही करूंगी। उसने बेहतर करके दिखलाए। देखिए, वे किसी से पीछे नहीं रहे। जब विजेंद्र पाल जी पर्वतारोहण करने में लग जाती हैं, यानी अपने भाई को देख देख के सीखती हैं, और यहाँ पे अपना जो जज्बा था, अपना जो दिल में उम्मीद थी, उस उम्मीद को पूरा करने के लिए वे लग जाती है। ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಮಗ್ನನಾಗ್ತಾಳೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ಸಾಧಿಸುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಶೀಲರಾಗ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾರು? विजेंद्र पाल ಅವರು। विजेंद्र को बचपन में रोज 5 किलोमीटर पैदल चलकर स्कूल जाना पड़ता था। देखिए, 5 किलोमीटर, एक नहीं, दो नहीं, आधा नहीं, डेली का डेली, रोज का रोज 5 किलोमीटर चलकर स्कूल को जाना, चलकर स्कूल से घर को वापस आना। 5 किलोमीटर। आज कोई आता है? आधा किलोमीटर भी नहीं आते आज के बच्चे। क्या करते हैं? स्कूल के जो वैन होते हैं, वैन में आते हैं, आराम से बैठकर और आराम से बैठकर घर तक पहुंचते हैं। ऐसी सुविधाएं आज हैं। लेकिन विजेंद्र पाल जी कहती हैं मैं 5 किलोमीटर चलकर स्कूल को जाया करती थी, 5 किलोमीटर चलकर, और पैदल चलकर स्कूल जाना पड़ता था। बाद में पर्वतारोहण प्रशिक्षण के दौरान उनका कठोर परिश्रम बहुत काम आया। सिलाई का काम सीख लिया और सिलाई करके पढ़ाई का खर्च जुटाने लगी। इस तरह उन्होंने संस्कृत में एमए तथा बीएड तक की शिक्षा प्राप्त की। बचपन में तो 5-5 किलोमीटर चल के आना होता था। आगे यही चल के आना, चल के जाना उनको पर्वतारोहण में काम आता है। कोई काम ऐसे ही नहीं जाता, तुम कभी ना कभी कोई ना कोई वहां पे काम किया करो, आखिर में आपको क्या होता है, वहां पे आके फायदा देने लगता है। उसका जो फल होता है आपको किसी रूप में मिल सकता है। इसलिए यहाँ पे वो कहती हैं जो मैं पैदल चला करती थी उसका नतीजा, उसका फल मुझे आज मिल रहा है, आज मिल रहा है, बहुत काम आता है। सिलाई का काम सीख लिया, सिलाई बट्टे ಬಲಿಯುವುದು, ಬಲಿಗೆ आ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಲಿತಾರೆ। सिलाई का काम सीख लिया और सिलाई करके पढ़ाई का खर्च जुटाने लगी। देखिए सिलाई कर करके अपना जो पढ़ाई की जो खर्च हैं वो पढ़ाई की खर्चों को वो जुटाने लगी। पढ़ाई को अपना जो पैसा लगता है वो कहाँ से लाई, अपने आप कपड़ों को सी कर। इसी तरह उन्होंने संस्कृत में, इसमें संस्कृत में क्या किया है, एमए तथा बीएड किया है। देखिए एमए बीएड मामूली पदवी नहीं है, यहां तक पहुंचना एमए तथा बीएड करना मामूली पदवी नहीं है। इन्होंने क्या किया, अपने आप को वहां पे परिश्रम करके, सिलाई कर करके, दौड़ के स्कूल को जाके यहां तक पढ़ाई उन्होंने किया है। पढ़ाई के साथ साथ विजेंद्री ने पहाड़ पर चढ़ने के अपने लक्ष्य को भी हमेशा अपने सामने रखा। पढ़ाई के साथ साथ एक लक्ष्य था, पहाड़ों पर चढ़ना। पढ़ाई तो होती रहती है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ उनका लक्ष्य क्या था, पहाड़, ऊंची जो पहाड़ियां होती हैं उन ऊंचे पहाड़ियों में चढ़ना उनका जो लक्ष्य था वह नहीं उन्होंने भूला। इसी दौरान उन्होंने कालानाग पर्वत की चढ़ाई की। देखिए पहला बट्ट ಮೊದಲ ಒಂದು ಬೆಟ್ಟ कौन सा, कालानाग। आपको याद रखना है कालानाग ये क्या है, पर्वत का नाम है। इसी दौरान उन्होंने कालानाग पर्वत की चढ़ाई की। सन 1982 में उन्होंने गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर 1982 गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर कब, 1982 1982 में गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर 6672 मीटर 6672 ಮೀಟರ್ ಎತ್ತರ. ಯಾವುದು ಇದು ಗಂಗೋತ್ರಿ ग्लेशियर तथा रूड गोरो 5819 मीटर की चढ़ाई की, जिसने उनमें आत्मविश्वास और बढ़ा। देखिए 3 वहां पे चढ़ती हैं और एक है रूड गोरो रूड गेरो। ये क्या है? पर्वतों के नाम हैं। रूडगेरो, गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर और कालानाथ, ये तीनों, इन तीनों को आपको क्या करना है? याद रखना। देखिए, पहला है कालानाथ, कालानाथ, दूसरा है गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर और रूडगेरो। यानी गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर का ऊंचाई है 6,672 मीटर 1982 में। रूडगेरो 5,819 मीटर है। 5,000 ये रूडगेरो है। चढ़ाई की जिसने उनमें आत्मविश्वास और बढ़ा। यहाँ पे क्या होता है? बिचेंद्र पाल जी का आत्मविश्वास और भी बढ़ता है, और भी चढ़ने के लिए वे बेताब होती हैं। अगस्त 1983 में, अगस्त 1983 में जब दिल्ली में हिमालय पर्वतारोहियों का सम्मेलन हुआ, जब वे पहली बार तेंजिंग नोर्गो यानी एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने वाले पहले पुरुष, आपको याद रखना है, एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने वाले पहले पुरुष का नाम क्या है? तेंजिंग नोर्गो। अंडरलाइन कर लीजिए वहां पे, तेंजिंग नोर्गो एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने वाले प्रप्रथम पुरुष तेंजिंग नोर्गो तथा जुंके ताबी एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने वाली पहली महिला सारी दुनिया में। इडೀ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಮೌಂಟ್ ಎವರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏರಿದವರು ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಜುಂಕೆ ತಾಬಿ ಅಂತ. ಜುಂಕೆ ತಾಬಿ ಇದು ಮಹಿಳೆಯ ಹೆಸರು. ಪ್ರಪ್ರಥಮ ಮೌಂಟ್ ಎವರೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪುರುಷ, ಅವನ ಹೆಸರು ತೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ನೋರ್ಗೋ. ಈ ಎರಡು ಹೆಸರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, ನಾಳೆ क्वेश्चन ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. सर्वप्रथम माउंट एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने वाले पुरुष का नाम क्या है, या महिला का नाम क्या है? यानी जुंके ताबी सारी दुनिया में आती हैं. इडೀ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಜುಂಕೆ ತಾಬಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಬಿಚೇಂದ್ರಿ ಪಾಲ್. कंफ्यूज ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. तब उन्होंने संकल्प लिया कि वे भी उसकी तरह एवरेस्ट पर पहुंचेंगी, और वह दिन भी आया जब 23 मई 1984 को एवरेस्ट पहुंचकर भारत का झंडा फहरा दिया. उस समय उनके साथ पर्वतारोही अंगदरोही भी थे. अंगदरोही उनके साथ चलने वाले. देखिए, बिचेंद्री पाल कब पहुंची माउंट एवरेस्ट पर? 23 मई 1984, 1984. ये डेट आपको याद रखना है, इंपॉर्टेंट. ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಬಿಚೇಂದ್ರಿ ಪಾಲ್ ಅವರು ಮೌಂಟ್ ಎವರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹತ್ತಿದರು ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೋಗಿ ತಲುಪಿದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 23 ಮೇ 1984 ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅಂಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. भारत की इस महिला द्वारा लिखित इसी वृतांत बहुत प्रेरणादायक तथा रोचक है. इसमें उन्होंने इस बात का वर्णन किया है कि वे एवरेस्ट के शिखर पर कैसे पहुंची. यानी इस जो पाठ हम देख रहे हैं, यहाँ पे जो संकलन है, ये संकलन में बहुत हमें एक रोचक महसूस होता है. रोचक वहां पे हमें पता लगता है, ऐसा पता लगता है कि हम वे अपने आप किस प्रकार महिला बिचेंद्री पाल जी कहती हैं, मैं चोटी पर किस तरह से पहुंच गई. ये यहाँ पे सारा का सारा वहां पे विवरण उन्होंने दिया है. लेकिन इस विवरण को पढ़कर, इस विवरण को हमें सुनकर हम ये पता लगता है कि हम क्यों पीछे रहे, हम क्यों पीछे रहे हैं, हम भी आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಗುರಿ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಗುರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇಗನೆ ತಲುಪಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡಗಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಆ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಭವಿಷ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಧನೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಆ ಸಾಧನೆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೊರಟಾಗ ನಾವು ಬೇಗನೆ ಆ ಸಾಧನೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಆ ಸಾಧನೆ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ಅಂತ, ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಡಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಆ ಸಾಧನೆ ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲೇ. ಹೀಗಾಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಧನೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಆ ಸಾಧನೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ನಾವು ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಹೋದ್ವಿ, ಆ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದಾನೊಂದು ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಪ್ರತಿಫಲ ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ सिकुते हैं। यहाँ पे कहती है कि बहुत ही बहुत रोचक है, ये कहती है माउंट एवरेस्ट पर चढ़ने तक, चढ़कर उतरने तक किस प्रकार से वे अपना जो अनुभव है किस प्रकार से था वे हमें बताती हैं। तो देखिए आपको याद रखना है उनके साथ कौन, अंगद दरोजी, अभिषेक, अभिलाषा, अभिलाष,
यस सर।
विचिंद्रपाल जी माउंट एवरेस्ट पर कब चढ़े?
जून 23, 1984 में।
हाँ फिर से बताइए।
मैं 23, 1984।
उसी को हिंदी में बताइए, हिंदी में कितना बोलते हैं उसे? ओके आगे चलिए। देखिए कर्नल फुल्लर ने साउथ पोल तक की चढ़ाई के लिए 3 शिखर दलों के 2 समूह बना दिए। ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೌಂಟ್ ಎವರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಹತ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮೌಂಟ್ ಎವರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹತ್ತುವಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಆದಂತ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಏನು, ಅನಾನುಕೂಲಗಳು ಏನು, ಅಥವಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂತು ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರು ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಿದರು ಎಂಬುದು ಈ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠದ ವಿವರಣೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಅತಿ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತಹ ಮಾತು, ಆ ಮಾತನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. कर्नल फुल्लर, ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಹೆಸರು कर्नल फुल्लर ने साउथ पोल तक की चढ़ाई के लिए 3 शिखर दलों के 2 समूह बनाए। देखिए साउथ पोल एक शिखर है, उस शिखर तक चढ़ाई करने के लिए 3 शिखर दलों के 2 समूह बनाए, 2 समूह वहां पे बनाए, 2 गुंपु। मैं सुबह 4 बजे उठ गई, बर्फ पिघलाई और चाय बनाई। देखिए 4 बजे, सुबह के 4 बजे उठकर बर्फ को पिघलाकर चाय बनाती हैं विजेंद्र पाल। ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಜಾವ 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಆ ಮಂಜುಗಡ್ಡೆ ನೀರೇನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಐಸ್ ಮಂಜುಗಡ್ಡೆ ಬರ್ಫ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಂಜುಗಡ್ಡೆಯನ್ನು ಕರಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಕರಗಿಸಿ ಚಹಾವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಕುಡಿಬೇಕು 4 ಗಂಟೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ। बर्फ पिघलाई और चाय बनाई, कुछ बिस्कुट और आधी चॉकलेट का हल्का नाश्ता करने के पश्चात मैं लगभग 5:30 बजे अपने तंबू से निकल पड़ी। देखिए छोटा सा उन्होंने नाश्ता किया, क्या किया, थोड़े बिस्कुट और आधा चॉकलेट ये खा के उन्होंने क्या किया, अपने तंबू से यानी अपने जगह से, जो अपना जो स्थान होता है उस स्थान से वे क्या करती हैं, 5:30 बजे निकलती हैं, 5:30 बजे। अंग दरोजी ने मुझसे पूछा क्या मैं उनके साथ चलना चाहूंगी। मुझे उन पर विश्वास था, साथ ही साथ मैं अपनी आरोहण क्षमता और कर्मठता के बारे में भी आश्वस्त थी। देखिए अंगदरोजी पूछते हैं कि मैं जा रहा हूं, मेरे साथ तुम भी चलोगी? बिचेंद्रपाल से पूछती हैं। और बिचेंद्रपाल अकेली थी नहीं, वहां पे वे समूह के साथ थे, लेकिन वे कहती हैं आगे, साथ ही साथ मैं अपनी आरोहण क्षमता और कर्मठता के बारे में भी आश्वस्त थी। नहीं, उन्हें विश्वास था कि मैं इस चोटी पर चढ़कर ही रहूंगी। सुबह 6:20 पर जब अंगदरोजी और मैं साउथ पोल से बाहर निकले तो दिन ऊपर चढ़ आया था। हल्की हल्की हवा चल रही थी और ठंड बहुत अधिक थी। देखिए बेड़े जावा 6 ಗಂಟೆ 20 ನಿಮಿಷ। अंगदरोजी और साउथ पोल से बाहर निकले, मैं और अंगदरोजी ಈ ಇಬ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಚೇಂದ್ರಪಾಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂಗದರೋಜಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ 6 ಗಂಟೆ 20 ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೊರಡಿ साउथ पोल ಅಂತ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಆ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ತಲುಪ್ತಾರೆ। बाहर निकले तो दिन ऊपर चढ़ आया। दिन क्या हुआ था? ऊपर चढ़ आया था, यानी सूरज निकल चुका था। हल्की हल्की हवा चल रही थी, ठंडನೆಯ ಗಾಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಮತ್ತು ಅತಿಯಾದ ठंडी ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು। हमने बगैर रस्सी के ही चढ़ाई की। अंगदरोजी एक निश्चित गति से ऊपर चढ़ते गए और मुझे भी उनके साथ चलने में कोई कठिनाई नहीं हुई। अंगदरोजी बिना रस्सी के, यानी बिचेंद्रपाल और अंगदरोजी बिना रस्सी के वे चलते रहे, लेकिन अंगदरोजी एक क्षमता के ऊपर वे क्या कर रहे थे? आगे बढ़ रहे थे। अंगदरोजी एक निश्चित गति से ऊपर चढ़ते गए, मुझे भी उनके साथ चलने में कोई कठिनाई नहीं हुई। यानी बिचेंद्रपाल को भी उनके साथ चलने को कोई कठिनाई नहीं महसूस हुई। ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಜೊತೆ ಬಿಚೇಂದ್ರಪಾಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ। मुझे भी उनके साथ चलने का कोई कठिनाई नहीं हुई। जमी हुई बर्फ की सीधी व ढलाऊ चट्टानों इतनी सख्त और भुरभुरी थी मानो शीशे की चादर बिछी हो। शीशे की चादर बिछी हो। हमें बर्फ काटने के लिए फावड़े का इस्तेमाल करना पड़ा। यानी वहां पे कहती हैं बर्फ इतनी थी कि कहां भी देखो तुम, आपको नजारा कैसे मिलेगा? आपको एक आईने के जैसा, शीशे का जैसा आपको वहां पे देखने को मिलेगा। लेकिन हमने क्या किया? बर्फ को काटने के लिए फावड़े का इस्तेमाल किया। जो हम खेतों में अलग अलग कामों में माटी उगाने के लिए काम करते हैं, उसे हम फावड़ा कहते हैं। जो फावड़े का इस्तेमाल कर दिया, यानी जो बर्फ निकालने के लिए ಮಂಜುಗಡ್ಡೆ ತೆಗೆಯುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಲಕರಣೆ ಅವರು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ। कौन सा? फावड़े का। 2 घंटे से कम समय में ही हम शिखर कैंप पर पहुंच गए। सिर्फ और सिर्फ 2 घंटे। 2 घंटे से कम समय में ही हम शिखर के कैंप में पहुंच गए। अंगदरोजी ने पीछे मुड़कर कहा, क्या तुम थक गई हो? अंगदरोजी पूछते हैं बिचेंद्रपाल से, क्या पूछते हैं? तुम थक गई हो? क्वेश्चन मार्क वहां पे। मैं जवाब दिया, नहीं। यह सुनकर वे बहुत अधिक आश्चर्यचकित हुए और आनंदित हुए। देखिए अंगदरोजी एक पुरुष हैं, बिचेंद्रपाल महिलाएं हैं। जितना अंगदरोजी ऊपर की ओर चढ़ते चढ़ते जा रहे हैं, वैसे ही पीछे पीछे बिचेंद्रपाल उनके साथ ही साथ आ रही है। आने के बाद पूछते हैं कि तुम्हें वहां पे कोई एक कठिनाई महसूस हो रही है क्या? लेकिन कोई दिक्कत आ रही है क्या? लेकिन महिला होकर भी बिचेंद्रपाल कहती है कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई कठिनाई नहीं। यह सुनकर बहुत अधिक आश्चर्यचकित होते हैं। कौन? अंगदरोजी। थोड़ी चाय पीने के बाद हमने पुनः चढ़ाई शुरू कर दी। वहां पे कैंप में जब पहुंचकर उन्होंने क्या किया? थोड़ी सी चाय पी ली और पुनः चढ़ाई करने लग गए। लाटू एक नायलॉन की रस्सी लाया था, इसलिए अंग दरोजी और मैं रस्सी के सहारे चढ़े, जबकि लाटू एक हाथ से रस्सी पकड़े हुए बीच में चला। तभी लाटू ने गौर किया कि मैं इन ऊंचाइयों के लिए आवश्यक 4 लीटर ऑक्सीजन की अपेक्षा लगभग 2.5 लीटर ऑक्सीजन प्रति मिनट की दर से लेकर चढ़ रही थी। देखिए, ऑक्सीजन लेकर चढ़ना, ऐसे ही नहीं, ऑक्सीजन लेकर चढ़ना। देखिए वहां पे क्या कहती हैं, लाटू एक व्यक्ति का नाम है, वे एक नायलॉन का रस्सी लाता है, नायलॉन का जो होता है उसकी रस्सी लाते हैं, लाकर अंग दरोजी और बिचेंद्र जी क्या करती हैं, इसी रस्सी के सहारे ऊपर की ओर चढ़ते चढ़ते जा रहे हैं, जबकि लाटू एक हाथ से रस्सी पकड़े हुए बीच में चले हैं। और तभी लाटू ने गौर किया कि मैं इन ऊंचाई के लिए आवश्यक 4 लीटर ऑक्सीजन की अपेक्षा, यानी कितने लीटर लाए थे ऑक्सीजन, 4 लीटर ऑक्सीजन लाए थे, ऑक्सीजन अपेक्षा लगभग 2.5 लीटर ऑक्सीजन प्रति मिनट की दर से लेकर चल रही थी। वे कहती हैं मैं प्रति मिनट की दर से ऑक्सीजन लेकर चल रही थी। मेरे रेगुलेटर पर जैसे ही उसने ऑक्सीजन की आपूर्ति बढ़ाई, मुझे कठिन चढ़ाई आसान लगने लगी। देखिए, वे कहती हैं ऑक्सीजन मैं 4 लीटर लेकर वहां पे चढ़ रही थी, और उन्होंने गौर किया, देखा कि इतनी ऑक्सीजन मैं लेकर चढ़ रही हूँ, और मेरे रेगुलेटर पर जैसे ही उसने ऑक्सीजन की आपूर्ति बढ़ाई, यानी ऑक्सीजन खत्म होने आ रहा था, उन्होंने क्या किया, अपने जो रेगुलेटर थे उसे क्या किया, ऑक्सीजन उन्होंने दे डाला, और बढ़ाई में मुझे कठिन चढ़ाई आसान लगने लगी। जो चढ़ने में कठिनाई आ रही थी, अब क्या हो रहा है, उस ऑक्सीजन की वजह से बिचेंद्र पाल जी को अच्छा महसूस हो रहा है, और ऊंचाई चढ़ने के लिए आसान लगने लगा है। ओके, तो चलिए आज हम क्या करते हैं, यहीं पे रुकते हैं। जो बचा हुआ सिलेबस है, जो पाठ का जो अगला जो भाग है, उसका जो भाग हम फिर कल की अवधि में हम देखेंगे। सबको समझ में आ रहा है? चलो यार, करता ही दिया।
यस सर।
श्रेया, आदित्य,
यस सर।
ಎರಡು ವಾರ ರಜೆ ಅಂತೂ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ 2 ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಫೇರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಏನೇ ನಿಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಾ? ಆದಿತ್ಯ?
ಯಸ್ ಸರ್, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟೆಡ್.
ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವರ್ಕ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾ?
ಯಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಫೇರ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಇಲ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ರೆಡಿ ಬೇಕು.
ಯಾಕ? ಆದಿತ್ಯ, ಆದಿತ್ಯ
ಯಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಯಾವಾಗ ತೊಂಬರವ?
ಸರ್ ನಾಳೆ ರೀ.
ನಾಳೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ವರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬೇಗ ತಂದು ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಬೇಗ ಅನ್ನೋನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೇರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಭಿಲಾಷ, ಫೇರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ?
ಸರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕ್ರಿ.
ಯಾವಾಗ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಮಂತೆ?
ಸರ್
ಸತೀಶ, ಸತೀಶ್, ಸ್ನೇಹ ಪಾಟೀಲ್, ಸಾಹಿಲ್ ಗೋಳ್ಸಂಗಿ,
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ತಕ್ಕಾಗಿದೆಯಾ?
ಸರ್ ನೋ ಸರ್.
ಯಾಕೆ? ಹ್ಮ್, ನಾಳೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿತಾವು. ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೇರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆದಂತ ಫೇರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ತಂದಿಟ್ಟಿರಿ ಫೇರು, ಯಾರ ಹೆಸರಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ತಂದಿಟ್ರಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕೇವಲ 3 ಜನ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಿ ಆ ಫೇರ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ಗೆ. ಆ ಫೇರ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ತಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಿ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಅರ್ಧಂಬರ್ಧ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವುದೂ ಕೂಡ ಪಾಠ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೊನೆ ಏನೇನು ಬರ್ದಿರಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಬಂದಿಟ್ರಿ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪಾಠಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರೀರಿ. ಆ ಪಾಠ ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ಬೇಗನೆ ಆ ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಬರೆದು ಮುಗಿಸಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಫೇರನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಸರಿನಾ? ನಾಳೆ
Yes, sir.
ಹೇಳಿದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠಗಳು ನಾಳೆ ಎಲ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ತಂದು ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋರಿ ಅಂತ.
latest ನೋಡು.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Just firstly, we will discuss the question answers of that poem, and we will go for the next poem, that is The Stolen Boat. Okay. Which of the following four seasons is the poet talking about in the first stanza? So, in the yesterday class only we have given that he himself, thought that he was in which season? Which season? Just before start that poem, we have written four forms here. One day is divided into
Autumn.
So and seasons, four seasons, and four stages of life, and four parts of the day, and four things, that is fuel, okay, amber, ash. So we have written there. So now here, in the first para, he says that he was, in autumn season, okay. So which words in the stanza support your answers? Okay, simple. You say that he is, he used to talk about autumn season. Then give any lines which supports your answer.
When yellow leaves or none or few do hang.
Okay, simple. That is what our answer. So second line of your poem, that is yellow leaves or none of you do hang. So that will suggest that he was talking of about autumn. Next, the four seasons correspondent to the four stages of man's life: childhood, youth, old age, and death. Where does the poet imagine himself to be? So in that four stages of the life, where he was?
Old age.
Old age. Good. So what are compared to bare ruined chorus? Okay. So bare ruined chorus. Bare means here without a leaf. Okay. What is the meaning of that? So simple. That is, what leafless branches of that tree where birds used to, came rarely and sing. Okay. So that is, bare ruined chorus. What does the comparison mean? So what is the meaning of that comparison? Simple. That the birds used to sit on the leafy branches and sing during the summer and summer and springy season. But now what happens? Now it is autumn season. That branches of the tree, they are allowed to fall their leaves. Now they are a bare one. So this is what comparison he made here. Now, through the image of late autumn, the poet convinced his friend that he is close to his death. What image does the poet use in the second stanza? Okay, so just think that he was talking about the second para, and he was convincing his young friend that he is closing towards death. It means in which stage of that day he was standing in the second para, or he was talking about in the second para. Now we have divided that day into four stages. Yes, na? So in which stage of that day he was standing?
Evening.
Evening or twilight. Okay, here this is a twilight. He mentioned the word twilight. So that's why it is twilight. Like seasons or stages of man's life. First he explained about the seasons, later stages of man. A day can also divide into four stages. So morning, noon, evening, night. So now he was in the sea. Where does the poet imagine himself to be in the second stanza? Now your answer is here, evening. Okay. Next, what is referred to as death's second self? While we are giving the poem, I have given it. What is the meaning of the death's second self?
Sleeping.
Dark night is the death's second self. He says that. Okay. So after the twilight, dark will come. Yes, na? Definitely we will get the darkness. So that dark night is a death's second self. Okay. That seals everything in the rest. Okay. Next. Identify the metaphors used by the poet to show approach of death. Okay. So he used to, use different approaches to tell us about the death. Okay. So now explain some approaches. What he explained in this poem, and there must be metaphor.
So, twilight of a such day and black night.
Twilight, see, that is about twilight of the day. Next, another two.
Black night.
Okay, black night is comparing with death only. Okay, so just you have to say that black night is also okay. Next. Go for some more. The twilight of the day, the ashes and embers. Okay, so that word. Okay, and the autumn season. So they will use it as a metaphor here. Okay, simple. Next. Through the usage of twilight, the poet repeats that he is approaching the night of his life. What image does he use in the next stanza? Okay, in the second para, he said that he was in twilight stage, means he was approaching towards death. But what about in the next stanza, in the third stanza?
Deathbed.
See, in the second stanza, he said that he was in a twilight condition, means that is the approaching of a deathbed. Now, what about the next stanza? He used to comparing here himself with what? Ember or ash. Okay, so Shakespeare uses the ash, the deathbed, where it must expires in the third stanza to show that he is approaching death. Okay, so just he used ash, the word ash in that third stanza. That will says that he will approaching towards the death. For death, he used here ash. As in the other images, the fire image of the third stanza also has 4 stages. Okay, so first one is a season, season. Okay, season stages. So there you will get 4 seasons. Second one is different stages of life. Okay, again there you will get the 4 stages of that life. Okay, now here he used to talk about the 4. In the third stanza, he used to talk about 4 stages of that fire. So now that 4 were fuel, flame, ember, and ash. Which stage does the poet identify himself with? Simple is it?
Ember.
Ember, simple, ember. Okay, so ash is compared with the death only. Okay, so now he was in old age because old age is comparing with the ember. Simple. What lies on the ashes of its youth? What lies on the ashes of its youth?
The glowing of fire.
the glowing fire. So the glowing fire remains in the ashes. Okay. The glowing fire remaining of his youth lies on the ashes. What does deathbed mean here?
Ember.
No. Ember is not deathbed. That is old age. Last stage of that fire is
Ash.
Ash.
the death. Simple. Don't get confused. Okay. The last stage of his life is deathbed. So that is the ash on which his life is expiring. Okay. Towards the deathbed. Okay. Simple. So here deathbed means ash. So this in the couplet refers, so that last two lines, this in the couplet refers what? Back to the three quadrants or forward to the next two lines or both? So he says that this though perceivest, so that above lines, okay, means above quadrants. So back to that three quadrants is your answer. Okay. When does love becomes more strong? The couplet meaning is itself what we are having. When does love become more strong?
Love becomes stronger when it is time to live or to let go.
Love become more strong when it perceives that it is going to lose someone or something. Okay. ಯಾವಾಗ ಏನನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತದೆ then only the love becomes stronger, more stronger. Okay. So love become more strong than when it perceives that it is going to lose someone or something. So that's why he he hopes, William Shakespeare hopes that his young friend's love will grow stronger towards him. Okay. So because he was almost reaching the deathbed. So that's why he feels that, or he hopes that his younger friend will love him more. Okay. So when does love become more strong? Again, Aditya, go for it.
So love becomes more stronger when we live or to let to go.
When it perceives that it is going to lose someone, okay, or something. So when we understand that we are going to lose someone or something, then our love becomes more stronger towards them. Okay. The poem is about the stages of life in which the poet imagines himself to be. What stage does he imagine himself to be in? Okay. So just the same answers what we have already discussed. Comparing life to the seasons, he identifies his present usage with a dash season. Okay, just he was comparing with that four stage, that four seasons. Now he was comparing himself with which season?
Autumn season.
Autumn season, same. That is same what we are discussed already. Comparing life to the day, he identifies his present stage with dash time of the day.
Twilight.
Twilight of the day. Okay, simple. Next, comparing life to the fire, he identifies his present stage with what?
Ash or death.
No. It's simple. Comparing life to the fire, he identifies his present stage with what?
Ember.
Okay. So he was in ember. Ash is a death. That is last stage. Okay. Okay. So these are the question answers of that poem. Simple. Okay. But so exam oriented, you will just get these questions. But for the knowledge, we have discussed a lot of things. Okay. What is sonnet? What is sonnet? Who will go for it? Sonnet is a form of poem. Okay. So here we will get some 14 lines. So 14 line poems are called as a sonnet. So sonnets are divided, or sonnets having two different types. So what they are? Types of sonnets.
Italian and Shakespeare.
Okay. So simple. Shakespearean sonnet and Petrarchan sonnet. So Shakespearean sonnet is also called as a Spenserian sonnet, and Petrarchan sonnet is also called as a Italian sonnet. Okay. So first, see here how many quatrains we are having in the poem. How many quatrains we are having in the poem? Quatrain means how many lines? 4 lines. Okay. 4 lines. Quatrain means 4 lines. How many quatrains we are having here?
14.
No. 14 lines. Lines are 12. Quatrains. 3 quatrains we are having. Yes, na? See. If 4 lines is there, then it is a 1 quatrain. Okay. So like that, how many quatrains we are having? 3 quatrains we are having. And the last one, the 2 line is called as a what we call it? Simply what we called it? The 2 lines.
Couplet.
Couplet. Simple. That 4 lines are called as a quatrain, and the 2 lines are called as a couplet. So that sonnet was divided into 2 types. Separated as a 2 parts. One is the octave, and second one is the sestet. Octave means 8 lines. Okay, sestet means 6 lines. Okay, and see, the poem is in which meter? So sonnets having meters. Okay, so it is in which meter? Yesterday only I have given it. Anyone? It is in iambic pentameter. Okay, iambic pentameter. So what is iambic pentameter? Iambic pentameter means here we will get 5 pairs. Okay, so 5 pairs of weak or a strong syllabic positions. Okay, so we will get 5 strong or a weak pairs of syllables. So that we are called as a iambic pentameter. Okay, so strong syllables are symbolized. The symbol of the strong syllable is straight line. Okay, and symbol of the weak syllable is a cross. Okay. Okay. So next poem, that is The Stolen Boat. Okay. Stolen Boat. The Stolen Boat was written by William Wordsworth. So another remarkable writer of the English language. So how William Shakespeare is a famous writer, like that William Wordsworth was also a great famous writer. So we will go for the introduction of about William Wordsworth. So William Wordsworth. So William Wordsworth was born on 7th April 1770. Okay, 1770, and he died in 1857. Sorry, 1850. So actually, I'm not getting here the date of his death. Okay, so he was born in Cockermouth, so which is near to Cumberland. Cockermouth is a place which is near to Cumberland. Cumberland is in England. Cumberland, England. Okay. So his parents were John Worth and Anne Coxon. So now his father named John Wordsworth and his mother named Anne Coxon. He was the second of 5 children born to that parents. So there, see, John Wordsworth and Anne Coxon, they were having 5 children. So in of them, he was the second one. Okay. So Wordsworth is considered one of the greatest poets of English literature. So he is considered one of the greatest writer of English literature. Wordsworth and his friend S.T. Coleridge. So remember, this is another remarkable name of English writer. That is S.T. Coleridge. So S.T. Coleridge. So S.T. Coleridge and that William Wordsworth, by their joint publication of the lyrical ballads, become the harbingers of the romantic movement in English literature. So while when we will learn the English literature, we will get different ages like Victorian ages, Spencer ages, Romantic ages, contemporary ages, and different ages we are having. So in the history of English literature, so this age, Romantic age, is a remarkable one. Okay, so here the poets were they were the lovers of nature. So they will love the nature and they will write. So their themes of the writings were is only nature. Okay, so they will write about nature and the love of nature, how nature works, and the bond between the human beings. So these are the things of their writings. So now they have both William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. They together and written a book called Lyrical Ballad. Okay, so Lyrical Ballad. So this book played a remarkable part in the movement of a Romantic age. So this is considered as a Bible, like a Bible of that Romantic age. So that much of popularity that book got. So this is the combined work of S.T. Coleridge and William Wordsworth. Okay. The episode of the stolen boat is based on the experience of Wordsworth's early boyhood days. This is an extract from book 1 of Wordsworth's great philosophical poem, The Prelude. So now, The Prelude was written by William Wordsworth. Okay, so this poem is taken from The Prelude only, the first book of The Prelude. Okay, So this is the own experiment or experience of that William Wordsworth. So this is the real incident happened in the life of William Wordsworth. So when he was in the boyhood, so he used to stole the boat of others, and he taken it into a river or ocean. So that is what he used to explain in the poem. Okay. So here we will just watch some more works of William Wordsworth. Okay. So lyrical ballad. So the first already we have given that lyrical ballad it is also a work of William Wordsworth, which is published in 1798. Okay, and the prelude, also the work of William Wordsworth. Okay. Okay. So these are the works, some more books they have mentioned here, the Prelude and Tintern Abbey. Okay. So Tintern Abbey is also the work of William Wordsworth. Okay. Tintern Abbey. So these are the works of William Wordsworth. So he says that poetry is a spontaneous overflow of emotions. So he was a great poet. So he says that poetry is a spontaneous generation or overflow of emotions. So poem means what? Poem means it is a flow of emotions. So at that time, romantic poets, the romantic age, the poets belonging to that age, they were expressing their emotions of their life in that poem form. So that's why he said that poem is the overflow of emotions. Okay. So he's also called as the father of romantic poetry. Okay. So he has a sister called Dorothy Wordsworth. Dorothy Wordsworth was also a famous English woman writer. Okay. So we will start the poem, The Stolen Boat. So already he explained in that author introduction that so the poem is an unforgettable occurrence of his boyhood. Okay, so one incident happens in his boyhood, and just he mentioned in this poem. Okay. Okay. So free reading activity. Imagine a child has been caught stealing a pen. What will you do if you were the child? You were the headmaster of the school. But just think that you are, just imagine that someone is, steals a pen. Just think that you are the headmaster of that school. What you will do? Okay, and otherwise, just think that you are in the, so you are that boy. Okay, you are that boy who used to steal. So now, what will the opinion of yours? Okay, obviously, what we will do. So when we are in our boyhood, so almost all, they used to steal the things. So we used to steal them, So obviously we will used to steal that some money, 1 rupees, 2 rupees in our boyhood, or otherwise we will we will steal the things. Okay, sometimes we will steal the some things which put in the boxes. Okay, like sweets or whatever it may be. So eaten things, or sometimes of money, or sometimes anything. So we will obviously all used to steal the things. Here, what happens? Like that, author also want to go for voyage, or he want to moon, but he was not having boat. But what happens one day, he watched a boat which is nearer to the seashore, and he stolen that boat, and he went for a voyage. So just I will read the poem. One summer evening, okay, I found a little boat tied to a willow tree within a rocky cave, its usual home. Straight, I unloosed her chain and stepping in, pushed from the shore. It was an act of stealth, okay, and troubled pleasure, nor without the voice of mountain echoes did my boat move on, leaving behind her still on either side. Small circles glittering idly in the moon until they melted all into one track of sparkling light. But now, like one who rose proud of his skill to reach a chosen point with an unswerving line, I fixed my view. I fixed my view upon the summit of crazy ridge, the horizon's utmost boundary. For above was nothing but the stars and the grey sky. She was an elf in financing. So now, listening, I dipped my oars into the silent lake, and and as I rose upon the stroke, my boat went having through the water like a swan, went from behind that crazy steep till then the horizon bound, a huge peak, black and huge, as if with a voluntary power instinct up, see, upraised its head. I struck and struck again, and growing still in stature, the grim shape towered up between me and the stars, and still, for so it seemed with a purpose of its own, and measured motion like a living thing. Motion like a living thing, strode after me. With trembling oars, I turned and through the silent water stole my way back to the covert of the willow tree. There in her mourning place, I left my bark and through the meadows homeward went in grave and serious mood. But after I had seen that spectacle for many days, my brain worked with a dim and undetermined sense of unknown moods, unknown modes of being. Over my thoughts, there hung a darkness, call it solitude or blank desertion. No familiar shapes remained, no pleasant images of trees, of sea or sky, no color of green fields, but huge and mighty forms that do not live like a living man, move slowly through me, slowly through the mind by day and were a trouble to my dreams. Simple. So just what the first para, he tells that one summer evening, okay, I found a little boat tied to a willow tree within a rocky cave, its usual home. Straight, I unloosed her chain and stepping in pushed it from the shore. It was an act of stealth. He says that it is, see, he was recalling his memory of boyhood. He was saying that one summer evening, okay, led by her. So her denotes here nature, okay. So her, see, just her denotes here nature. So nature was pushing him on that summer evening. So he was just, wandering or walking in the nature, and he found a little boat tied to a willow tree. So there was a willow tree, okay. Just imagine that there was a willow tree, okay. So where the boat was tied, okay. Where the boat was tied within a rocky cave. That was a rocky cave, okay. So there was a huge rock and cave is there in, see, within that cave, there was a palm tree. Okay, so there was a willow tree, not palm tree, willow tree. The boat was tied to that willow tree. It is usual home. So what was the home of that boat? Rocky Cave. Okay, so Rocky Cave was the usual home of that boat. Okay, so Rocky Cave. Straight, I unloosed her chain. Her means here boat. Okay, her means here water boat. Just remember that thing. So comparison what he made here. So first he said that led by her. Okay, so some will say that her here is an boat, but actually in the first line her is here nature. Okay, in the fourth line her is comparing with the boat. So now what happens? He went straight to towards that willow tree, and he unloosed her chain. So what the things the people used to tie that boat to that willow tree? Just he opened or he unloosed the chain of that boat, and stepping in, pushed from the shore. So just he taken that boat and he pushed that boat into the water, and just he stepped in that boat. Just what we will do, boat, see, we have to push that boat into that river for a small distance. Okay, because it was not a machine. Okay, so it is man-made boat. It takes some external power or pressure. So when we will push that boat in that river, so then what? See, the navigators, they will use like that only. So they will push the boat and they will jump and sit into that boat. Later, they used to move it. So like that, the boy here, William Wordsworth, just he pushed that boat into that lake, and he sit on that boat. So totally this act was nothing but a health. Okay, ಇದೊಂದು ಕಳುವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಕಳುವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೇನೇನು? We don't know who is the owner of that boat or anything. Just what they have done. See here, William Wordsworth, just he taken that boat. That boat was tied to that willow tree within that rocky cave. Okay, rocky cave was the home of that boat. So now this is simple first para. Okay. Second, untroubled pleasure, nor without the voice of mountain echoes did my boat move on, leaving behind her still on either side small circles glittering idly in the moon, until they melted all into one track of sparkling light. But now, like one who rose proud of his skill to reach a chosen point, with an unswerving line, I fixed my view upon the summit of a crazy ridge, the horizon utmost boundary. Okay, so obviously what happens? Untroubled pleasure, nor without the voice. So the pleasure is rowing the boat with noise. So now what happens? Pleasure thing here, pleasure means the pleasure is here rowing the boat, okay, with no noise. So the boat is not doing any, it was not making any noise, just it was moving with silence. No, without the voice. So it was not, there is absolute silence around the that environment, or in that environment absolute silence is there except the sound of that boat on the water. So it was echoing by the mountains. So now what happens? Simple. Just through that picture I will give the explanation here. We just think that, huge rocks. Okay, huge rocks are there. Okay, so here lake is there simply. Okay. So that boat was the boat was moving. Okay, the boat was moving in that lake or a river or whatever it may be. So it was moving. So the environment was fully silent. That was not making any sound. Just a simple silence is there. So the boat was moving. Only the sound of that boat is there. It was echoing. So the sound of that boat was striking to that two huge hills. Okay, two sides, it's having a huge hills or mountains. So that sound was echoing because of that two huge mountains. Okay, the boat moves on the sea, moves on. The boat moved on. It made a small glittering circles. So when boat started moving, okay, so while it was moving, so it creates the glittering circles around it. So later when it moves on that line, so that creates a straight line. Okay, that moonlight until it melted into a single track of gleaming light. So that will create a gleaming light. Okay, that will make a straight line. When it started moving, it will create the glittering. Then that forms as a single track. Okay, of a gleaming light. So actually, it was not a gleaming light. It looks like a gleaming light. Okay. Okay. The poet kept rowing in a straight, unbending line. So the boat started, moving in a straight line. Okay. So remaining things we will go for tomorrow. Okay, just a simple first two, first 8 lines. Just remember that what happens. Just that boy, William Wordsworth, he was wandering in the nature. Just he was walking and he found a boat, so which was tied to a willow tree of a rocky cave. And see, he came there and he unloosed the chain of that boat and he pushed that boat and stepped into that boat and he started his voyage to, that is the act of self. Okay, and then the boat when it started moving, it creates a sound. Okay, it creates a sound. And see, it also creates the glittering circles around it. So finally, it forms as a straight line, and the boat started moving in that straight line. So the sound of the boat, except the sound of the boat, nothing is there. Just the sound of the moving of that boat, it echoing there. Okay, because of that hills. Okay. So next paras we will go tomorrow. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, students. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. The students, in the last class, we discussed about that post-independent India under this chapter. In brief, we discussed about that all problems here with picture and then with that more explanation. They repeated once more that all. And also we will discuss today here how that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel he succeeded to combine that territories which were disagree to join with India after the independence. The states like Jammu and Kashmir, Junagadh, Hyderabad, Pondicherry, Goa, these didn't accept the offer of Indian government. They had shown their interest to be independent there, but it was necessary to combine that all within the Indian territory. Therefore, by using that military force, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel he succeeded. Let us discuss here more about the issues. First, that is, we already discussed about that communal violence. Now, we have to discuss about the refugee crisis here, which emerged after that 1947. The Bengal Vimochana movement, which was supported by India, could finally liberate the Bangladesh. The Bengal Vimochana movement, which was supported by India, could finally liberate the Bangladesh. In the year of that 1971, Indian government succeeded to liberate that Eastern Pakistan, and after that 1971, after becoming free from the Western Pakistan, it is called through the word Bangladesh Day. The war resulted in arrival of 10 lakh refugees to India. Even that during 1971 was also nearly 10 lakh refugees from the Bangladesh, they arrived to India there. Within a short period, the Indian government it has succeeded to solve the problem of refugees from that Western Pakistan. But since that 1947 to 1971, that refugees were arriving from that Eastern Pakistan. Therefore, to stop that all and also to provide stability to that Eastern Pakistan, Indian government it had supported that Bengal Vimochana movement to liberate that Eastern Pakistan from the Western Pakistan, and it succeeded there. They were helped by the government of India to Bengal Vimochana movement. It was helped by the government of India, and also it extended its support to the refugees also. They were helped by the government of India, government of Tripura, Meghalaya, and Assam to resettle them that refugees in the different areas. The refugees are those who arrived from the Bangladesh. The Indian government allowed them to settle in the Tripura also, Meghalaya also, and then in the Assam also there. Why is it showing like that? Since most of the refugees from Bangladesh knew Bengali, they attempted settle in Bengal more. As a result, there was a huge stress on West Bengal. most of the people they will know about the that Bengali language. Bengali is the mother tongue of that West Bengal. How Kannada is the mother tongue of that Karnataka, like here. That Bengali is the mother tongue of that West Bengal, and people of that Bangladesh and also West Bengal, they know more about that Bengal there. And therefore most of the people from, it means refugees from the Bangladesh, those who now know about the that Bengali language, they have shown their interest to get shelter in the place of that West Bengal. It's created a huge pressure on the that West Bengal there. For large amount of that population, it was arrived. It had tried to settle in the West Bengal there. Moreover, during the 1960 and 1970, India itself faced economic crisis also. With these all problems, further India has faced that economic problem in the that 1960 also, and in the 1970 also there. There was a shortage of resources or income. Even though it was succeeded to manage all problems by taking the help of from other countries, and also by taking the help of that United Nations, World Bank also. Famines, major famines destroyed our financial security. There was maybe that drought in the year of that 1960 and then 70. During the situation that people, Bengal province people, they were unable to pay the tax also. They were unable to grow the crops in their agriculture area. It created what a financial crisis in India there. Still, India did not leave its humanitarian concern and then try to provide better refugee facilities for them. Even though that there was a loss, Indian government it had tried to extend its support, or it helps to that people, those who were living in that Bengal province, or those who were facing the problem of that drought, by taking the help from the World Bank and then other that source there. It become a huge problem. Therefore, in different part of the area, the Indian government it has provided shelter also, and other that employment opportunities also. These were the problems we already seen this, all the problems in the last class. According to one estimate, there are around 120,000 Tibetan refugees in India. Even from the Tibetan place also, in Tibetan country also, number of people they arrived to India in search of a settlement there. During that 1950, the Chinese government, it had tried to occupy that Tibetan land by using its military force. It had tried to combine that Tibetan territory with it. Therefore, during this situation, that lack of that Tibetans, they were also arrived to India. While India was facing problem from the that Bangladesh refugees also, and then Western Pakistan refugees. In this situation only, it has faced another problem or another refugees problem from the Tibet. Even though India didn't reject that, it didn't neglected the refugees. how it's provided shelter to that eastern Bangla, Pakistan people or the refugees in the different part of that Tripura, West Bengal, in other areas like that. Indian government, it has provided shelter and then other that help to that Buddhist people. It means refugees of that Tibetans. So nowadays also the Tibetans, they are present in the different parts of our country there. Some of they have taken shelter in the Bailukuppe of Karnataka, and some other they are in the Dharmapuri, which is in that Himachal Pradesh, and some other they are in the that Mundugod of Karnataka. In the different parts of our country here, they are living their life. In 1960, government of Karnataka sanctioned 3,000 acres of land to Tibetan refugees at Bailukuppe. Bailukuppe, it is in that Kodagu, near in the that Kodagu there, Ushalnagar. These are all come under the that Kodagu province, Kushalnagar, Bailukuppe, in that area. This Bailukuppe, just it is maybe 10 kilometers far away from that Kushalnagar of that Kodagu district there. They are spending their life. Here also in the Uttarakhand district, there is a place, Mundugod. Even in that Mundugod also, that Tibetan refugees, they are leading their life. Or they had taken shelter there from the state of Karnataka there. Once or twice they asked these two places also in that board exam, remember. They asked what that refugee, what places, settlements in India, in Karnataka there. They are Bailukuppe and then another one, that is Mundugod. In spite of these all problems, the arrival has enriched our cultural diversity. What is that word? Cultural diversity there. It has helped us to increase that cultural diversity. What do you mean by diversity here? Diversity having many very different that elements, having many very different elements here, it is called diversity. You can see that diversity in all the fields, so in the family also, in the language also, in the that occupations also, in the religion also there, in the culture, in the food. Arrival of that refugees to India from the Pakistan also, from the Tibet also, it has increased that Indian culture diversity there. It's added further that diversity to India, Indian culture. With that refugee crisis, India had faced another problem. It was the formation of a new government during 1947. India was independent on 19. Actually, it was independent on the 1947 and August 15th, but here they mentioned 45. During this situation, interim government was formed and Lord Mountbatten became the first Governor General of India to manage that present problem. It means during the 1947, the temporary government or interim government, it was formed, and Mountbatten, he was the Governor General. He became the Governor General of India, and Jawaharlal Nehru, he became the first Prime Minister of India during the 1947. And C. Rajagopalachari was elected as the first Indian governor. On January 26, 1950, the Indian Constitution was adopted. that drafting committee of the Indian Constitution, which has submitted its report, and later on also they discussed about that all issues in the
Sir.
parliament, and they implemented effectively that Indian Constitution on January 26,
Sir,
1950. Hello?
sir, in which state did Rajagopalachari became the governor?
In which date?
Rajagopalachari became the governor.
At present here, I don't know that in which year he became the governor, but I will tell afterwards. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here Indian Constitution it was adopted on January 26, 1950. He became the governor of India in 1948 date.
Sir, in which state?
In which state you asked?
Yes, sir.
That is after the Mountbatten. He became the Governor General. Governor, not that is. Here what they mentioned? Governor, Indian Governor. Rajagopalachari served as a Governor General of India from 1948 to 1953, 2 years. By mistake, maybe they have mentioned here that Governor, that is Governor General. Maybe he became the Governor General after that. Mountbatten. Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad became the first president of India after adopting that Indian Constitution, and the Constitution declared India as a sovereign and democratic republic here. Sovereign means here not mentioning by the any other external forces, having a self-ruled government here. With the implementation of that new Constitution of India here, India is declared India is the sovereign and democratic republic there. It means representative will be elected by the people, there. So 42nd Amendment, the Constitution, the word secular and socialist were added in the year 1976 to indicate that all religion here, or to show that India is a secular country. According to the 42nd Amendment in the 1976, the Indian government is added that secular and then socialist, these two words in the Indian Constitution there. And government of India followed the independent foreign policy, and India has adopted the parliamentary type of democracy there. Parliamentary type of democracy means having two bodies, state also and then the center also. And under the parliamentary type of democracy here, all representatives will be elected by the people of that country. Today, India has its own foreign policy, that is not policy, that is policies. And still also it is following that non-aligned policy, but it has a necessity of to form its own group to protect its territory. Because of that, India has extended its hands with that America and Japan and Australia. Before, India didn't show any interest to form any group or any bloc or with any other powerful countries. But in the modern world, we have a necessity of that friendship or that formation of that group to protect our territory. Therefore, in the last two decades, India has succeeded to form the group that is called Quad there. Quad, it was formed by India and then America, and later on also Japan also joined with that. Recently, even that Australia also had shown its interest to join with this Quad. In the next year, that even Germany also going to involve in the activity of this Quad, that group there. This is a kind of organization which is formed by India and America, and later on also the other countries like Japan, Australia, and Germany, they are joining with this to protect the sovereignty of that Indian Ocean. On the Indian Ocean, that China it is trying to show its influence not only on Indian Ocean and the countries which are found or which are in the that Indian Ocean and South China Sea here. Here it is trying to exploit that all countries to stop that aggression policy of that China. India extended or formed that Quad group there. This month, what is it today here? Today, this is the number final. Okay. Since yesterday, that March 1st started. It means combined army practice. It is started in the Indian Ocean. This is the first round combined army practice by the that all members of Quad like Japan, Australia, India, and then America. And the second round, it will run from maybe November 15 to that 20, 3 to 4 days in the Indian Ocean, using that Visakhapatnam seaport. Today, India has its own foreign policy. India has full freedom to show friendship towards other nations. Therefore, it has formed that Quad to protect future territory also and to save that other countries from that aggressive policy of our enemies. Next problem, it was integration of princely states. You already know there were nearly 62 princely states. Whenever the Indian government is it's offered to join with Indian territory, with Pakistan, or to be independent during this situation. Only that 4 to 5 that princely states they didn't agree with Indian to combine their territory with India. During this situation, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, whom we call through the name of that Iron Man of India, he succeeded that. He succeeded to combine all territories with India. The government of India, through its instrument of accession, offered an opportunity for the princely states to join federal structure of India. And in return, India is assured to give them royalty. It means compensation there, based on that revenue collection of that state or the princely state there. Revenue sharing based on the actual revenue of the state in the form of royalty. In return, the government is agreed to provide royalty. It means Rajadana to that princely state kings. And also it's offered some special status were also accorded to that ruling king. And also they told them to provide special status if they agreed to join their territory with India there. The third one is later in 1971, these royalties and status were withdrawn. And after that 20 years, that all offers were withdrawn there. with the approval of that people are there. Without taking the permission of that people, they didn't remove these all. With the what by taking the approval from or their opinion, India had decided to remove that royalties also and then status also. And the last year, India had succeeded to remove that special status which was provided to that Jammu and Kashmir under Article of 370 and then 35 years. Like that, so these activities that is trying to integrate the Indian territory, national research, they are trying to unite the or that protect the Indian integrity there. There were 562 princely states when British left India, and British had kept 3 options open for the remaining princely states. Joining India, again and again they repeated that one. The second one, joining Pakistan. This was the entire India history. Pakistan and Myanmar, entire India, Bangladesh, all these were in one. Up to here, our Indian territory was extended. And the third option to be independent. These 3 options were kept in front of that princely state. During the integration of India, princely states' strong opposition came from Junagadh, Jammu and Kashmir, and Hyderabad states. These 3 states again ready to agree with India. So that Goa also and then Pondicherry, because these were under control of Portuguese. They were their main under the leadership of Vallabhbhai Patel, who is known as the Iron Man of India, it was successful in integration of that princely state to Indian Federation. By conducting that military actions, they succeeded to join that places within India there. It doesn't mean here forcefully Indians they used that military actions against these places. There was anarchy. People they were expressed their opinion to join with India, but rulers they were not ready to join with India there. During this situation, Indian government it has focused on the opinion of people, and then occupy that territory by using the military force and provided royalty for that place of the princely state kings. Junagadh. Remember that place you have to remember, they may ask in the exam, in that map question. You don't know what questions they will ask in the exam there. Actually, almost all time they ask that places from the geography, but you should be aware about these places also in the history. Otherwise, you will lose that 1 mark if they ask in the exam. It will be barrier in front of your way to get that out of 4 marks. The Nawab of Junagadh princely state had signed the agreement to join the state of Pakistan. See there, it is Pakistan, it is far from that Junagadh. Even though here the Nawab of that Junagadh, he agreed to join his territory with Pakistan there. By sensing the danger that Vallabhbhai Patel, he succeeded to combine that territory with India. Muhammad Khan Rasool, Muhammad Khan Rasool Gandhi, he was the Nawab of Junagadh. His citizens revolted against him and flooded in the streets there. In the streets, they started to protest the decision against the decision of that Nawab government. During this situation, the king fled from he run away from that kingdom there. He left the kingdom and escaped to that other places, maybe Pakistan. And the Diwan requested Indian government to military to send military there to protect its territory. During this situation, Indian government it has sent their military force to maintain the peace and order in the Junagadh, and finally, by taking the opinion of that people and also Diwan, they combined that territory with India there. The second it is Hyderabad. So here also the Nawab of Hyderabad, the Nizam of Hyderabad, he didn't show his interest to join his territory with India, but people they rejected his opinion, like that Junagadh. Here also people they rejected his opinion. So in this situation, Indian government was used their military force. This princely state was ruled by Nizam Mir Usman Ali. Mir Usman Ali, he was the Nawab of that Hyderabad province. He wanted to remain independent and refused to join the independent India. During this situation, meanwhile, under the leadership of communists, the people he wanted to remain independent and refused to join the independent India. Meanwhile, under the leadership of the communist here, he had shown his interest to be independent like the communist here. And the people angry with the cruel army of the Razaks here. He formed the army of Razaks and had tried to suppress the people, those who were angry or those who were rebelling against the decision of that Nizam of Hyderabad. The government of India sent its military to fight Hyderabad and defeated the Nizam and integrated Hyderabad into India in 1948. While by using the Razak army, he was trying to suppress the voice of the people. During this situation, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel he sent an army of India and succeeded to defeat that Razak army and integrated that Hyderabad in India in 1948. Post-independence, August 15th, 1947 to 48. And post-Polish action, 17th September 1948 onwards. For 1 year, 1 month and 2 days, Hyderabad state didn't join India there. But Indian government is offered to join India and others territory. For that decision, it didn't agree with that decision suddenly there. But later on, by using the Indian army, it was combined with Indian territory. Fearing that Kashmir may join the Indian Federation, they joined here Junagadh also and then Hyderabad also. Next, which is remained, Jammu Kashmir, it is remained now. Fearing that Kashmir king, he can join with the Indian territory, it was, what is his name? In that period, Pakistan instigated, it means attacked Jammu and Kashmir with his army. Sensing here the Kashmir territory or the ruler of Jammu and Kashmir, Raja Hari Singh or King Hari Singh, he may join with Indian territory. That Pakistan army, it has sent its own army to capture that Indian Jammu and Kashmir. Finally, that Raja or King Hari Singh, he agreed to join with India there. The King of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, decided to remain independent. Actually, first he decided to remain independent, and later on Pakistan has understood, or it has sent, it got a message. It may, the Raja Hari Singh, he may join with the Indian territory. Therefore, finally, that King Raja Hari Singh, he took the help of Indian government to protect his territory while Pakistan army is occupied some parts of that Jammu and Kashmir. Even though India didn't succeed to capture entire that Jammu and Kashmir, until also few that territories were under the control of India, and some other territories were under the control of that Pakistan, and some other areas are under the control of China. POK, occupied Kashmir, and this area it is granted to the Chinese by Pakistan there. This red color area here in that green, this area it is granted. Nearly it is 5,000 square kilometer area there, approximately. That 5,000 square kilometer area, it is granted to China by Pakistan to protect its or to support that Pakistan there. Therefore, until also that China, it is supporting that Pakistan, it is joining its hands with that terrorist group to harass the India there. And recently it has started to form that a kind of institution in the Tibet there to harass Indian territory. It has already established a lot of that military that stations across the border of India there in the Tibet place. Even India is also not far away from that. India is also building a lot of constructions in that Jammu and Kashmir. In last that 1 month, India is inaugurated in the different parts of that northern part along that border of India there, along the border between the India and China. Indian government is inaugurated nearly 44 that bridges, which help or which improves or which helps to transfer that weapons from one place to another place during the time of battle there. Recently, here that Chinese army has tried to occupy this Ladakh area there. It is claiming that this Ladakh area belongs to that China there, but India is claiming entire this Chinese occupied that area, and also this entire POK, these all areas where belongs to India. Therefore, in the last year, India is announced or removed that 370 article and also that 35 article, and form their two independent Union territories. Form the two Union territories there. One it is Jammu and Kashmir, this area is what Jammu and Kashmir here, and including that little part of POK and China occupied that Kashmir. This is all come under the Ladakh. These all areas. The National Conference Party led by Sheikh Abdullah, who fought Kashmir's independence, argues that India has a better democracy than Pakistan. He is the political leader. He told India it is voter, but it has a better democracy. Whatever freedom which we are facing in India here, all citizens being as a citizen of India, that freedoms are not there in the Pakistan there. So nowadays also in the Pakistan, that this is the what real situation. I am not exposing that cruelties of Pakistan there. So nowadays also in the Pakistan here, that other minorities who belong to Hinduism, Christianity, and other religions here, they will be harassed by the people of Pakistan or that officials of Pakistan. Whenever they will approach the court to get justice, even they do not get justice also there. The situation, the people of India, we have to understand whether it belongs to any religion here and support our country. By understanding the present situation of that Pakistan, what is running there in that country, we have to understand whether we belong to any religion here, and always we have to support the integrity of our territory there. But some other people, even till also being a citizen of India, they are supporting other countries there. When that army which entered in the Jammu and Kashmir to capture that, during this situation, King Hari Singh, he approached or he asked the help of India after some that stipulations Kashmir. It means after occupying that a few that Jammu and Kashmir areas by the Pakistan army. Because of that, in 1947 or 1948, the Indo-Pak war it was took place to capture or to protect the Jammu and Kashmir. Nearly that 4 times India and Pakistan both armies they faced war there. At present also, day by day, they are trying to violate that ceasefire there. Every day or after that every 2 days here, they will fire toward the Indian army, toward the citizen of that Jammu and Kashmir, and had trying to pass that terrorist there in the Indian territory. At this junction, the issue was reported to UNO, while that Pakistan army occupied some that territories of Jammu and Kashmir. He approached Raja, it means King Hari Singh. He approached Indian government. During this situation, the entire that whole report it was took in front of the UNO. UNO issued a battle truce on January 1. It means the end of that war on January 1st, January 1949. And one part of the Kashmir remained with the Pakistan, and Kashmir that was occupied by Pakistan, it is called as Pakistan occupied Kashmir. If little more Indian government is such effort there, even that POK also it would be in the control of India. Next, Pondicherry. Even after independence, the French had continued their hold over Pondicherry, Karaikal, Mahe, Chandranagar. These were their settlements in India here. These were the important settlements in India regarding the French. Pondicherry also, Karaikal also, Mahe, Chandranagar. During the British rule also, these were their settlements or warehouses that we studied in the first chapter there of history. After the independence also, here they continue to rule these territories there. Mahe, Pondicherry, Karaikal, these all places. Many political parties like Congress, Communist and others wanted them to become part of India. As a result of all these, parts got integrated in 1954. All parties after the independence, they had expressed their interest to join all that territories with Indian territory. Therefore, Indian government is integrated, or it means it combined that all territories with India there. Second, it is a sustained movement was held to protest against the Portuguese occupation of Goa. Even after independence also, Portuguese, they were rejected, or they were not ready to join that Goa with India there. During this situation, this is the what place, where is that Goa there? Though they were ordered to vacate Goa, Portuguese brought more army from Africa and Europe and tried to consolidate their power over Goa there. Even though here Indian government's order, they had tried to keep under their control that Goa there by using the armies from Africa and Europe, but Indian government is usually here also military force to integrate that Goa with India there. Satyagrahis from all over India entered Goa and declared the exile of Portuguese from Goa in 1955. In the 1955, Satyagrahis of India here, they fought or they entered in that Goa to send them out the Portuguese. Even during this situation, Indian government is used military to send out the Portuguese from Goa there. Dr. Cristo de Braganca Corona, he played here an important role conducting the Satyagraha in the Goa there to integrate with India. Finally, Indian Army it occupied Goa in 1961, and until that 1987, Goa remained as a union territory, and later on also it was allowed to be the state of India there. The language-based formation, this is another problem of India. This is the another problem which India has faced after that independence. Reorganization of states based on languages. The language-based formation of states was a demand present during the British India also. During the British India also, there was a demand from the people to form language-based that states, and it's further increased after that Independence Day, because India it was became their independent. Therefore, across the country, people those belongs to different that languages, they face they forced Indian government to form independent language based state. After the independence of India, this demand became more and more that severe. It means that it was increased there. Both the British government and regional governments never ruled them using local language. Both the British government and regional government, they didn't rule, or they didn't make they didn't give importance to that local language there. In this background, the formation of a state-based language was desired. Because of that, later on of the independence, the language-based formation of state demand it was increased. After the death of Potty Sriramulu, he was belongs to Andhra Pradesh, who died after 54 days of hunger strike demanding for Vishalandra, the demand for language-based state. Based state reorganization went up there. Here, Potty Sriramulu, he did their fast up to that 54 days. He did their fast up to that 54 days to form that Vishalandra based on the language. But unfortunately, in that incident, he was died there in that fasting. While he was doing the strike or was doing the vote of protest against the government to form that language-based state, he sacrificed his life to form that Vishalandra there. And later on, also his death in 1953, reorganization of state commission was formed, and Fazal Ali became the president. Under the presidency of that Fazal Ali, K.M. Panikkar and then H.M. Kunjru, these were the members of that state reorganization commission. It was the 3-member committee. In that 3-member, Fazal Ali, he was the head of that committee there. Even nowadays also it is called through his name, Fazal Ali Committee or State Reorganization Committee there. This commission submitted its report in 56. Reorganization of States Act also came into practice in 1956. In 1956, that Fazal Ali Committee submitted its report. Therefore, it was implemented in the 1956 year. And Indian government is formed states based on that languages. According to this act, 14 states and 6 Union territories were formed. According to that Fazal Ali Committee, 14 states and 6 Union territories were formed there. In this picture, they have mentioned here how they have formed that Union territory, that language-based territories. Or this is a picture in the different period. And later on also, in the different that year, that different states were also formed by the Indian government. Mizoram it became independent state in the 1987, Nagaland in the 1963, Arunachal Pradesh in the 1987. The demand to integrate all these people into one state was prevented. Even in Karnataka also that demand it was more to form that Kannada speaking language areas in one territory. people of Kannadiga, they also demanded to form that entire Karnataka or Mysore province under Rajya Nirmana Parishad or all Karnataka Rajya Nirmana Parishad. They formed this organization to unite that all Kannada speaking areas. These areas or these 4 districts were under the Mumbai, Karnataka, and these Bidar, Kalburgi, Yadgiri, Raichur, these were under the Hyderabad, Karnataka, and remaining all that Mysuru, Kodagu, Tumkuru, Chikmagaluru, Davangere, these were under the Mysore, and some other were under the control of Madras, and some other were under the control of that Kodagu province state. But finally, in 1956, Vishala Mysore state it came into existence due to the effort of that all. Last under 2 PPTs are there. I will complete that under 2 only. But in the 1973, you already know during the time of that Devraj Arasa, almost all that Kannadigas they forced that government to form Vishala Karnataka into to rename Vishala Karnataka into that Karnataka. Therefore, Devraj Aras, former CM of Karnataka, he renamed Karnataka into as a Karnataka there. In the place of the Vishala Mysore state, they started to call entire that Karnataka into Karnataka there. Now there are 29 states and 7 union territories in India, including the Delhi there. At present, there are 8: Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Delhi, Chandigarh, Diu and Daman, and Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Lakshadweep, Pondicherry, and Andaman Nicobar. These are the Indian territories of India there. Remaining all, they are the states of India there. Okay, with this here, this lesson it is concluded. Question answers you only write there because I already told in the last 2 classes we aren't getting the proper time to discuss about the question answers. So therefore, I will leave that all responsibility on you only there to write that question answers by referring the notes also and that question answers file. Understood clearly? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much to all for staying with me in this class up to that 2:10. Have a nice day.